Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this week's edition of our Supplier Showcase. For this week, we have a new sponsor for this program, which makes these interviews possible. Everest Ice and Water Systems is the new sponsor. They provide eco-friendly solutions that you can have right on site to get ice delivered for your campers. Highly suggest checking them out after you hear our conversation today. I have the pleasure of being joined by a fantastic guest, somebody I've talked to before. Really cool guy with a cool product that we're going to get to introduce to you guys. Murray Kramer, owner of the Murble game. And you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is the Murble game? And I guess that's my opening question, Murray. Just talk a little bit about the product and how you came up with this idea.
All right. Well, yeah, actually, I came up with the idea when I was in the Navy. I just got out of the Navy. I bought a house in Michigan, Waterville, Michigan. And when I was cleaning up the yard, I found a whole complete set of horseshoes. I cleaned them up, talked to my neighbor, says, "Do you know how to set this up?" He came over for 2.5 years, whipped me. I never won a single game. So I thought, well, I remember being when in the Navy. I went to Rome and I saw bocce being played out in a alleyway, and I thought, neat game, but I would make them a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, and I'd probably wear shorts and flip flops and a t-shirt when I played it because they were all dressed up. But so yeah, I remembered that, and I thought, well, if I make a set, maybe he'll play with me and I can actually win. I made the set when I was going to Lake Michigan College up in Michigan, but he wouldn't play me. So I said, "What? Here I made this set of marbles, and he wouldn't play it." He said, "I play horseshoes." So, but that's where I came up with the idea.
And I've got a set too, and I'll show people sort of what it looks like. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's sort of like bocce or lawn bowling, something like this, but it's got a couple unique twists. These balls are made of really interesting material too, super portable, super lightweight. It's really easy to take to the beach, to the campground, especially where people can either haul it in their car, put it in their trailer, go set up and play with friends. Just talk a little bit about what does make it different than bocce, whether it's in the rules, the
All right.
construction, the materials. Talk a little bit about that.
All right. Well, you probably know bocce's been around for a long time, like 5,000 years, and it seems every set you look at, like England has bowls, the French have pétanque, and most people are familiar with the Italian version, bocce. Well, I wanted to make a set that was lighter, and so kids could play with it, and older people, it's light enough so it doesn't hurt their shoulder when they're playing. It doesn't hurt their shoulder. So, and I'm using polyethylene. It's a high density poly. So when you play it, well, it's like on a pool table. When you're shooting pool, you have all the balls are relatively the same size. If you're playing lawn bowling, almost all of them have a little bitty point ball, and then they have a big grapefruit size game ball. I didn't see the logic there. I wanted them to be like on a pool table, so if you hit one, they go flying. And using a high density poly, it gives you more action out of the game. Um, what else?
For sure. And one of the other things that I liked about it too, Murray, was that when I look at this as a campground product specifically, and of course that's who we're talking to today, owners, managers, people who are at
Mhm.
their park, it's a product that you can purchase and set up and use for your recreation activities, right? And have younger kids and families set up tournaments at the park, have that be a part of your weekend activities. But when somebody loves it like that and they say, oh my gosh, I played it for the first time here, it's super cool, you can actually buy more of these from you and sell them in your camp store too, to have people be able to take them home. So I love the idea of being able to introduce a product that's very similar and familiar to people with bocce and allow people to just purchase them right for the park. So it's not only a recreation source, but a point where the park can actually use it to make more money.
Yeah, and if parks want, if they order a certain quantity, I can put their logos right on the bag, so the campers can come in, play with their family, have a lot of fun, take it, go to another campground, say, "Oh yeah, I've got Murbles," and it's got your if it's KOA or whoever, yeah, you would have their name right on the bags.
And of course, we've talked off camera as well about your family and other people that do these tournaments and things like that.
Yeah.
How many people have you seen really embrace that model where a bunch of people will come together and do that? Because I see that as a huge thing for park owners as well, to be able to get a huge bundle of campers as we're coming off a Labor Day weekend or have bigger gatherings where people can get together and play it. How have people embraced that tournament mentality when it comes to this game?
Well, for campgrounds and others, I just got the Pensacola senior citizens. They're doing it for their turn. They're doing a tournament for their senior citizens this year, Senior Olympics. And out in Idaho, they use it for the Special Olympics. So it's
It's
becoming popular.
fantastic.
And for campgrounds, I just did a show in Grand Design for Grand Design, and I
Right.
had a
Their
tournament.
owners rally. Yeah.
Right, and I did a tournament there, and we had 16 players, and none of them had ever even heard of Murbles. But by the time they got done, they were all smiles, and everybody was excited. And they had a lot of fun playing it. And I also gave them a free set for the winner and medals. So the
Well, and I
tournaments
and
are
I
great for it.
And I think to that point, as you just described, a lot of different people at different age points or ability levels, because of the material and the way you've done it, it's accessible for people. Similar to how we've seen pickleball or other things come about.
Right,
It is something that you can play into your 60s, 70s, 80s and above, and it's not
right,
going to hurt you. There's not a lot of running or fast movement, but a lot of action when you're able to get in there and do it with your grandkids or do it with other people that are there. So I think the accessibility component opens this up to a lot of parks of different age ranges or groups of people that they're trying to cater to. Would you say that that's accurate?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And they're convenient. And for camping, you don't want to buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes. You buy a 5-pound. So I'm going to
Exactly.
just hold this. This is a set of marbles. It's in this bag. It's about the size of my head.
And
And
I was
on
going
the
to say,
back, I
think
put the
think
rules.
think about packing that too. I mean, it's
Right.
not big to be able to carry it around and port
And the rules are on the back. And I put a lock on the bag so it won't roll around on the floor and get under your brake pedal or gas pedal. So it's quite convenient. Oops. Timber.
I love that. And I know we were talking also before the program. You guys have a discount code coming up or a coupon offer for parks. Tell us a little bit about that, Marie. What as we're sort of getting into the latter half of the season here. As I mentioned, we're after Labor Day, and a lot of parks are thinking about it's coming up to fall. Their pools may be closing. People are still outside, want to be around the campfire doing these sorts of fall activities. This is the perfect time to buy it, test it out, and really start placing your orders as we head into next year's season as well.
Right, right. Well, for the people that want to get a set to play at the campground with their family and friends, I do have a coupon on my website. It's WALMG 15. So it's a 15% off coupon. That'll help everybody out.
And we'll make sure to include that below for listeners as well, where they can grab the coupon code, head right over to the website. And speaking of that, let people know, where can they connect with you either on social media or reach out via email, and where can they go on the website to actually buy this and get it shipped right to them before they go out on their next RV trip.
Just go to murblegame.com.
Murble.game.com. Excellent.
Now, I just wanted to say, unlike bocce usually it comes in the colors are picked out for you. Usually it's dark red and dark green. Marbles, if you want pink and yellow, if
I was
you
going to say
want
you
purple,
can get them whatever
blue,
you want.
you can pick your colors, and you can pick the size of your set. If bocce, normally you get 2 balls per player. With marbles, you get 3. They're lighter, but you can hold 3 without a problem. And it makes the game a little more exciting because you throw the first ball, you get close. Second, closer. Third one, bingo. There's the money shot.
And as you said too, that's another great point before we wrap up here. That the expandable size allows you that if you do have a larger family or you want more
Sure.
sets to be able to take it and meet people together, that's an accessible option as well, where you're able to go customize it. Maybe you've got 4 grandkids and you want to get everybody their favorite color, similar to mini golf. You go and pick the ball out and everybody gets their
Right.
favorite one. You can do that and customize them right on the website,
Yeah.
which I love.
And you don't need a flat court or a designated surface. You play wherever you are. When you're going camping, step out of your camper or give them to the kids. They can play
Grass,
behind the camper or
sand.
wherever they want to go, any common area. And if they toss them in water, they're buoyant. You don't have to worry about going in the yucky water to get the balls. They come to the top, you can just pick them up.
That's awesome. Murray, anything else that you want to let people know before we wrap it up?
Well, don't be afraid to play it. People will see me and they'll say, well, I don't know if I can play that. I usually say, well, can you tie your shoes? And they look at me funny and say, well, yeah. Well, generally, if you can tie your shoes, you can play marbles.
I was going to say, well, if you can bend over and pick up the ball, that's about it. And as long as
That's
you can
it.
throw it, that's all that's required, right?
Yeah, and I want to say that when you're playing marbles, you set the course. You set how far you're going to throw it and how fast you're going to walk up to it, and the whole thing. It's up to you. And any obstacles in the area, they become part of the game. Bushes, trees, it all just becomes part of the game.
Wonderful. And then as a reminder for listeners, we'll have the coupon code linked below. And remember to visit murblegame.com, right?
Murble,
if they want to go
no
in.
S.
Yep, murblegame.com if you want to go and purchase. Murray, thanks again for being here.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone, for listening to this week's version of our Supplier Showcase. Join us back here next week for another great episode.